Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to make you some contemporary stew with rice. With this stew you can have it with any food of your choice, rice, yam, anything. So today I decided to have it with rice. First of all, I have my onion, I have my kobe, which is salted tilapia, I have my momone, salted fish, my spice, my tomato paste, my blended tomatoes, onion, and garlic, then my blended pepper, and I have the main ingredient contumely. I have my assorted, so that's my cooked goat, a spice, everything, and my palm oil. So you can choose any oil of your choice, and my agusi. This agusi, thank God it was my mom who sent it to me, and I'm happy. So this is the ingredient I'm going to be using in my food. I do hope you enjoy this food, and if you are able to make one, please post it or say it in the comment. Before I start, I need to cook my agusi first. You can just cook it separately, or you can just decide to cook it whilst you're making this stew. So I decided to make it this way because with this way it's easier for me, and I added a bit of salt to it to like make it crunchy. So first of all, I'll fry my agusi. Then I think with this way, it's Nigerians who always make it this way. So I prefer it that way. And first of all, I'll put my saucepan on the fire, and I prefer to clean it because I don't want to waste gas whilst the water to drain out of the saucepan. And I'm using my palm oil. With this palm oil, I love it. What's the name? Zomi. I could smell the zomi inside. With the palm oil we normally buy in the UK, I don't know, it smells different and you don't taste it. So from this coming back from Africa, I'm really happy my mom got me this palm oil. So yes, the palm oil is on the fire. I'm going to be adding my chopped onion and my momoni to it. But one thing is with the momon, because I use the head, I'll make it very crispy. Then it melts into the stew by the end of the day because my kids will also be having this, and I don't want to see any bone in it. So whilst I leave it on the fire, it takes its time to actually cook. It didn't take much long. And with the onion, I don't put everything in the oil because I don't, before the food will be ready, the onion will be already melting the food, which when I'm eating, I want to have a crunch of the onion in it. So that's why I'm not putting all my onions in it. So with this stage, I begin to put the fire on low heat. Then I put my blended tomatoes, onion, and ginger in. And it takes its time. Guys, there's one trick about I don't know how other people cook, but one thing about my cooking is the moment I pour the tomatoes into the food, I'll just pour you see the cooked meat I'll just pour it in straight away. Once that is being done, I'll wash the dishes because to me, as soon as I finish eating and I'm washing, I feel lazy. So whilst I'm cooking, I'm washing. It makes it easier for me and clean as well. So I'll check on my stew again. Whilst I'm checking on my stew after 10 minutes, I can see everything is coming to, you before when you are eating, you can taste like the stew in the meat. That's what I wanted. And this stage, I'll just mash the momone. With this momone, one trick about momone, if you want to take most of the salt out, you either have to soak it several times, or whilst you are cooking it, you can add sugar to it because it have a lot of salt. So when you add sugar to it, it will balance the taste of the salt. So with this stage, I didn't add sugar, but instead I soak it for several times. And when I was cooking, I keep on changing the water about 3 times. So whilst I put the momo in, I put the contemporary. One thing is contemporary, it itches if you don't cook it well. And so I'll just put my contemporary in whilst there's water in the stew so that it will cook it well. And one thing, guys, most of us who have been to school, we know, the vapor will melt to turn into water. And so if you want water to drain out of a soup, still you don't cover it. That's why when we are cooking meat or we are cooking like rice and stuff, we cover it so that the water from the water will go back into the food. But I don't need the water in, I need the water out. So I don't actually cover it. I leave it open. And once the stew is done, I'll just put another saucepan because I'm going to have this food with rice. I'm going to prepare it and one more like rice oil, because with this rice I'll make it more. Any day I want to make fried rice with it, I can just take half of it, put vegetables and egg and any meat of my choice. If no meat, if egg, fine, which is more easier for me this way. So this stage, the saucepan is on fire, then I'll add oil to it. So once I add oil to it, I add a bit of onion to it as well, to give it those browny, crunchy onion stuff in the food. That's what I want. So this way I stir it. Whilst I stir it, I'm washing my rice. With the rice, I soak it a bit because I don't like the starch in it. And I begin to check on my stew as well. As you can see, there's still water in it. And so I'm going to leave it on the fire for some time. And I have to taste and see the salt. I never put salt into this stew because when I was cooking my meat, I put a lot of salt in it. And we have salt in the Kobe, we have salt in the momone. So as you can see, I've washed the rice. I'm putting it in the oil. And with me, when I'm cooking rice this way, I don't put water in at once because I use water to wash the rice. The rice is already like soft. So I want it to be like it should single out, and I don't want it too soft, too hard as well. So I'll put it in the oil, leave it for some time, like maybe after 10 minutes on the fire. Before then, I'll add the salt to it. I don't measure my salt. I've cooked several times with salt, so I know the amount I need in the food. So that's what I did. I stir it to make sure that all the salt go into the rice. Then I'll cover it as well too, for it to fry. This stage, I've still not put water in my rice, and I begin to check on the stew. As you can see, I'm putting my spice in now. With this spice, the reason I'm putting it this time is because it contains salt, and I've already used some of the spice and salt for my chicken, my goat, so I don't actually need to put a lot of spice in it. So I begin to check on it. I think the salt is okay for me and everything is okay. So whilst that is on fire, I will begin to check on the rice again to see how it turned out. And this stage, you see that the rice is going to fry as if it's very dry again, but just that it have oil around it. So whilst I'm checking, I realize, okay, it's the way I like it. So I'm going to be adding my water very soon. And I like to put hot water instead of cold water. It makes it like faster for me. So, and I don't measure my water, but I know that like 1 cup of rice is to 1.5 cup of water. The way I am cooking it, some people want it more soft, and so you can. It depends on how you want it. If you want it very soft, you can use 1 cup of water is to 2 cup of water. But if you want it like not really soft, you can put 1 cup of water. 1 cup of rice to have 1.5 cup of water. And this stage, since my stew there's no water in it, the water in it is normal, I begin to add my fried agushi to it, and the stew is done, because the moment I put the agushi in, meaning it's done. There's nothing to put in. As you can see, look, it's very dry, not too much oil in it, because that's what I wanted. I still wanted to taste home cooked food, especially back home, but I don't want too much oil in it. Sometimes back home they use a lot of oil, and I realized, oh, I need egg. This food without egg is like you've not complete the whole meal. So, and my kids even love egg, and they've made me fall in love with egg. In fact, I didn't really like egg, but even Leo do love egg sometimes, but not always. So yes, that's what I did, and I cleaned up after myself. This stage the stew was done. I just check on it. Okay, it's okay now. Stir it. And this stage, the onion I talked to you, this is a stage I have to add the onion to it, because I've put the gas off. There's still like vapor coming out of the stew, so I put my onion in. I need to cook it, but not really soft, just crunchy in the stew. So with this stew, I don't have to like pull meat to be chewing. Whilst I'm eating the rice, I can taste meat in it, I can taste fish in it, and I can still taste my onion in it. So that's the main purpose of this stew. So I just leave it and clean after myself. Make sure everything is done according to plan. Guys, these two came out the way I wanted it. The meat is just in little small. I love everything about these two, and the rice very soft. It was nice. I wish you guys could try this one. Like, it really enjoyed it. I even enjoyed it myself. I'm going to put in some clip to see me sitting down on the floor. I didn't sit down on the dining table. I sat down on the floor and ate it. After that, so guys, if you tried this food, let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumb up, and see you guys next time. Bye.